I gotta get Yeah, they're. You'll get some of that. I want to see how. I've lived there for a while, and we're the worst in fact here. East Wales, people later, so this was just the it's just the stuff that we used to there. Actually, I did it. Saying there's stuff that's so let me get this tomorrow else where we're allowing it. It's just that we see when I need to study this piece of it. And we're just one that's more speech. Change. I got prices. Also, see, I find this one and that was very so. Yeah. Well, it is the sweet, so I think you get it. I bought this. Yes, that grand the reason you there today. You have to help the current code.
Exactly. I was like, you can't deny it because we don't like it. Yep.
Know what you want. I don't like changing.
Yep. I gotta change it before they come in.
I said, saw that.
That's what I was thinking.
It's shaped. Oh, thank you. So that's not, except I'm just supposed to Joel stop those. You say that's also was that but it was okay. Which we what does that actually consist of?
He used to eat, I think, the breads and stuff. The stuff is okay. Pretty slow.
A good thing to.
I'm saying, and I'm hoping. I can read from the seeds. There's my fight, just like explanation. That's nice.
Brian today.
Right, yeah.
You can't dramatic things. You can't. So I you say, I read them, they look dramatic, correct, I was cute, but.
Yes, and more credibility.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
You're a teenager.
It's true, yeah.
Mayor, we are ready.
Yeah.
Want to welcome everybody to our uh, council meeting. Or I brought up the wrong one. Should get the right one.
I'm on the wrong one too. Where is it?
Yeah, why is,
Open 25.
Tiffany, when you pray, pray that I can stay awake.
Have you had a long day?
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
I don't. City Council 26. Are you on 26?
I am, but I brought up the wrong.
Please, be quiet.
I opened wrong too.
I think there's a.
Planning commission took 2 hours. I'm sure they can do it.
There we go. All right, we want to welcome everybody to our February 25th city council meeting. We appreciate you coming, and apparently we have something good on store because this is what we would call a packed house. Councilmember Tiffany Atkinson will give us our opening prayer and pledge, and we'll go to that point.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity we have to meet tonight as the Hyde Park City Council and members of our community. We're grateful for the city we live in and for the opportunities we have to serve one another. We're grateful for our freedom and for the blessing it is in our lives. We pray that this night, as we discuss the matters that come before the council, that we might have open minds and ears to listen and minds to discuss and communicate in order to make the best decision on behalf of our community. We're grateful for the mayor and for his leadership and ask that will bless him. And we ask you to watch over this night, and we pray for these things in the name of thy son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The third item on our agenda is to review and approve the meeting minutes from February 11th. So Councilman David, Stephanie,
Did you get mine? Yeah.
Tiffany,
Nothing for me.
Gerald, do you know? Kurt. Having, it was Stephanie's that she sent you included.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
Just missed name of Craig Winder as being in attendance, so.
Okay.
Although it wasn't on the form to fill in, so.
Okay. Having no other amendments, I'd look for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 11th.
So moved.
We got a motion from Dave. Is there a second? Second from Stephanie. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Thank you. The next item is the agenda that we have before us. I do not have anything else to add to it. If the council doesn't, look for a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll motion we approve the agenda as written.
I'll second it.
We got a motion from Tiffany and a second from Gerald. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? The next item is to receive resident input on any items that are not currently on the agenda. And we'd ask you to limit it to 3 minutes, and we would also remind you that the council may not answer things. We want to get through the public input portion. The council, after we close that, they may come back and provide some input. But there may be questions asked that may not be in the purview actually of the council. They may go back to Public Works and things like that. And so we will go to that. So we'll open it up at this time for resident input. If you come to the mic and let us know who you are and tell the council what wonderful stuff they're doing. Come on. Having some. Remember I said wonderful stuff.
It is wonderful.
Okay. Oh, you guys were building a house.
Almost there.
Okay,
So we're the Nyes, Todd and Kim Nye. And we'll start our time now.
go ahead.
So we are building a house and we are here to talk about impact fees. According to your code, they are created for, there to supplement or to pay for any additional demand or need for public facilities. But we have lived there for 10 years and the house has been there for 100+ years. And so according to the code, it says the city may adjust the impact fees in order to ensure that the impact fees are imposed fairly. And according to the Utah code, the purpose of impact fees is the payment of money to mitigate the impact of new development on public infrastructure. So we've already lived there. We're not adding new people to the park or to the roads or to the water. We've already been consuming everything. And so we're asking that we not have to pay those impact fees, which the building department had told us we wouldn't have to because we were already a pre-existing residents.
Okay, so to that, our lot already has been connected to water, connected to sewer, served by roads, assessed property taxes, like she mentioned, from us over 10 years in the home, or a lot longer than that. Those facilities were already built and funded. I guess in conclusion, and I'm glad during your invocation you invoked the blessings of our Creator, because there's a court case that talks about reasonable payment, reasonable funds. And we're not asking for free things. Everyone needs to pay their share. We're just saying that we should not be required to pay again for the infrastructure that already exists and already served our prior home. Let's see. We still have one dwelling unit. It's on the same lot. We will have one dwelling unit. It will be on the same lot. The same basic residential uses will exist. There's no increase in units. There's no change in there will be no change to the dwelling structure. It's still a single family residence within that residential core. And I need to add that we do pay our taxes, we do pay our fees, but to assess us particularly for the stormwater, there is no stormwater within residential core. There's no curb and gutter. We talked a couple months ago about the infill development and how it should be benefit financially to those doing it. So that's our time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public input at this time? Having none, we'll close the public input. Marcus, could you address the impact fees? I think you're building a new home. Aren't you on there? Or is this
Mayor,
an additional residence? I remember you coming. I just don't remember the specifics.
we're happy to reach out to the Nyes as soon as tomorrow to get more information and figure out what's going on.
Okay, do that. So.
Yeah.
I remember you came, and it was, I think it was for one of your children, I think, or, okay. All right, well, I was hoping that you were farther along. Okay. All right, so the staff will reach out to you and discuss this tomorrow, okay? Great. We'll move on to the next item, and that's to discuss mayor, staff, and council reports. Council, actually, before that, well, go ahead. Anybody, anything you got? Kurt? Gerald, do you have anything?
I just had a question. I know this new pavement that got put in on Center Street seems to be really rough.
For the dip there?
Well, just in general.
Oh, the additional asphalt, or I was thinking the crosscut.
Well, just the coming down Center Street, that they put in late in the year, just seems to be a little ripply. I don't know. Has anyone noticed that?
I usually I don't drive up that high, but.
Well, no, Thane Brager was here 2 weeks ago, and I think you missed that meeting. He actually brought that up.
He was bringing up the crosscuts that there were some sinkholes.
I mean, there is one of those too, but I just the general asphalt seems to be really.
We haven't done a final walkthrough with them on
Okay.
anything yet,
Anyway.
so.
If we could just look at that, I can go up with you or whatever.
Yeah, the contractor's planning on replacing major parts of asphalt. So if you got specific areas, we can definitely add that to our list of things we want to bring up.
Okay.
Project isn't even under warranty yet.
It looks like
so-
we need to walk that whole thing though, or somebody does.
Yeah, we will. So like I said, the project isn't even under warranty yet. So the city still has to do a final walkthrough of the whole thing before we sign off on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Tiffany?
So a few things, from our seed swap, we had leftover seeds. We're going to start a seed library at the city. So if any of you are planting gardens and need seeds, come check out our seed library. Hopefully it will be here tomorrow or Monday at the latest. Our front porch group is still moving forward. We're going to have those events on the second Thursday of every month from 10 to noon. What else?
I think, I love the front porch. I think it's a great thing.
It's going well.
Good thing for the community.
Yeah. So we'd like to encourage everybody to attend, or if you know people that want to attend, spread the word. And then if anybody wants to come, well, I guess the whole council can't come, but talks about mountain bike trails in the canyon tomorrow with Neil Etherington. I guess maybe we should invite someone from the planning commission to attend that meeting.
It's not a bad idea.
Just to have the conversations, and we're gonna establish a bike trail committee.
Good.
So those are some things we got going on. And then the safe routes to school are in the process. The middle school has reached out to Dave and I as well. So I don't know why we keep
They-
getting roped in, but they want us to
They,
help
they,
do this.
they haven't, but we want them to come here and present.
Yeah. I think we'll have that discussion on Monday.
Because it's a
Yeah.
budgetary thing and it takes the council and then
And the
the chief.
I reminded them
Yeah.
they need to, they reached out to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the things.
So-
And hopefully we'll have the concession stand done soon. I'll get the countertops in and the flooring done, and then it should be ready to go this summer. Oh, and the baseball team has reached out to me and said they would like to have a continued service project, that they would like to help us with our fields and do that before they're used for rec ball this summer, help them get them in better shape. So the coaches at the baseball team at Green Canyon are interested in helping improving our fields.
Excellent. We were talking about that,
So
I think with you
we
on
have that.
the amount that it costs. We ought to just do that. And if they would,
Yeah, they're willing to come and put some sweat equity in and help us get them improved. So
excellent. Let's
That
line
way
that
too.
up. Let's make it happen. Stephanie,
Yeah, I have a couple things. I came in on what would be Hyde Park's 400 North down by IH. And they've also cut through the road and there's we know about that.
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of that asphalt is temporary. They're gonna have to replace it in the spring when the temperatures improve.
It was a good dip today. Anyway, applications for the Hyde Park Scholarship and Royalty Program are due on Thursday, March 12th. So,
so please have
Yes.
people
please
put in.
Spread the word and it is a scholarship program and.
It's a
can we
good
say our-
thing.
Can we say our sponsor?
I've got it approved with the sponsor. Yeah,
Yes.
but so there'll be a $500 scholarship for the
Queen.
queen, princess, queen,
Queen.
and her first and second attendant. So we have sponsors on that, and all that will be forthcoming in the pageant. So
Yes.
that's
It's
good.
coming fast, so.
Nothing,
Mr. World Traveler,
not
Arizona.
Arizona, but that's about it.
Mayor?
No, nothing tonight.
Yes.
I have one comment after I listened to Stephanie. I had an individual approach me and offer some help for our city in any way they wanted to. And it would probably be more in kind, but it would be something I think Stephanie would really could use. And I'll make sure I talk to
Just-
her. If it is, we contact her.
Fantastic. We
Wonderful.
love having more resident input, civic input, and we're here for a community, not for just, 5 council members and the mayor. So we love that part. Chief, let's go to you before we go to Marcus. How about that?
And it's been a busy week. This was the week that we had the big snowstorm. That particular day, the PD handled 28 calls. Most of our calls are average calls for the day, range anywhere from 12 to 16 maybe-ish. So 28 was a high number for that day. Several of those were accidents, the motorist assist, things like that they were trying to deal with as well. So I pulled the stats for just Hyde Park for this week. On that total, the PD handled 117 calls. Out of those 117 calls, 18 of those were in Hyde Park and situated in Hyde Park. Out of those 18 calls, 13 of those were priority calls. The calls in the green column on the right are the priority calls, the accidents, the agency assist that required the immediate response. Your attempt to locate, you had the drug investigation, a child abuse investigation, criminal mischief, medical property damage, protective order, and we had an unattended death, which equates to a 72% priority calls versus non-priority calls, which is a huge increase. We've been seeing this steady trend. We've been averaging anywhere from like 35 to 40, 42% maybe. And for whatever reason, it's now starting to come up. Out of the 117 calls, and those in North Logan, 57% overall were priority between the two cities on that, with 43 non-priority type calls. So we're seeing this increase where it's requiring an immediate response with our guys to get there on that. And like I said, this was an unusual week. Normally we have 100, 105, maybe 110 calls. We're a little bit higher than that, 117, but because of the storm and some of that, I think we saw some more with that. Also, when the calls go up, I wanted to point out that the traffic stops go down. So we had 90 traffic stops for the week, 22 citations and 68 warnings with that on that. So that I didn't get the percentage on that, but you can still see that that's quite a bit. We're trying to educate more than what we're trying to be heavy-handed on that. I think that's the purpose of the stop, is to try to change behavior with that. And that's, I think, representative of what we're doing. I wanted to provide an update on the electric motorcycles. So we've been meeting with the school districts. I've been watching this bill as it goes through the session. It is currently in the third reading on the Senate on that, and they've modified some language to now include, and it's being debated. They want to make it so that anybody under 16, it's illegal for them to ride it on the road, to operate it on the road, period. That was debatable on whether or not that was going to happen, and they've changed that. So they just want to make that so that's
Or through a city park.
yeah, or through the city park or the sidewalks, things like that. They've still added the caveat that the city council can add rules to that, like we don't want the electric motorcycles or the electric bikes on, or the mobility assistance devices, I think they're calling them, on the sidewalks. They're still saying that you can add rules to increase that, or to make those restrictions a little bit tougher on that.
Do you have a House bill or a Senate bill number?
I do. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick and then I'll text it to you
Okay.
on that. But in fact, I'll forward the link to you and then you can see the
Okay.
language that they're changing. They are also adding the language of hold and release. And so if law enforcement sees a child that it looks like they're under 16, they can stop them, they can hold them, and then the motorcycle can only be released at that point to a parent. And if a parent's not available, then it's subject to impound on that. And so they've added that language to it and they're debating whether or not they want to do that. They're still including the safety course requirements on it. And they have still, they're keeping the change where they're moving the e-motorcycle definitions and they're putting it under the current motorcycle definitions in state law. So those things are still in place, but they're talking about a few of these other things with that.
Did you see how well it passed out of second reading?
I didn't. I know there was still some concern about, can we do this or not, or how do we do that? You're going to see something pass. There's such a frustration with every agency, it seems like, in the state that has problems with these, and every city has problems with them. And so you're going to see something that passes on it.
Marcus, would you make sure we send something? Remind me tomorrow, I'll send something to Cameron Deal that they ought to at least speak to this in LPC.
They did at one of them. And so it was overwhelming. Yeah, we love this bill. So they haven't talked about it because at the first LPC, they brought it up and everybody said, yeah, we want this to pass.
Okay.
So the League of Cities and Towns is fully supportive.
I was there
of this
last
bill.
week and I didn't see.
Well, it was at the first LPC of the session. So it was back
Okay.
in January. They talked about it and everybody said,
They've got about,
and so all the cities and towns are behind it.
got about 10 days to figure this out. So
Yeah.
Chief, is there anything on electric scooters?
Yep. So that's included under what they're considering the mobility device, personal mobility device on that. There's also some restrictions on that too, as far as if they're under a certain age, then the parents have to be right there in direct supervision with them on that. So that's also being looked at on that. But I believe, did I forward that information, that bill, to you?
I think you forwarded it to me and the mayor before,
Okay.
but
It
I'll
should
check.
be the same link that I think it's updated with that, but I'll do that again tomorrow.
Okay.
Too, with that.
I imagine that you're gonna try and do a great big educational campaign, right? To hit all the parents and,
There will be, having come from the school district, I know that this is a huge problem in the schools. With warm weather coming in the next month or so, you're going to see a huge uptick. And a lot of that is tied with your sports programs that are coming up. And I know that the school district, they're looking at, they don't contract with North Park, they contract with Cache County Sheriff's Office, but I know that they're looking at severely cracking down on allowing those in their parking lots and issuing citations and things like that. So that message, I believe, is going out to the schools and to the parents, or from the schools to the parents and to the riders of those, but we haven't seen it just yet on their website. So there's that. Last thing I had, tomorrow we're coming at 1:00. I wanted to confirm the time for the training here, active shooter training for the city employees and city council. You're welcome to attend that as well if you are interested. That evening or tomorrow evening, I'm also giving a presentation to North Logan in the basement of their new building there on the same thing, active shooter and safety preparedness, things that people can do. So we're starting to get a lot of presentation requests for that, as well as for the sextortion things that we talked about at the mayor meeting on that. So yeah, we're busy.
anybody have any more questions for the chief? The attempt to locate vehicle, could they not find them under the snow?
I couldn't find them. They were hidden.
They're hidden.
Hidden pretty good.
Okay, Well, thank you, Chief. We appreciate you and the officers and
Thank
what they're doing I like the idea of changing behaviors versus overwhelming citations. We want to
Yeah.
stop things. So
That-
thank you.
That's the goal. You're welcome.
All right. Marcus, you have anything?
I have one item to report. City Council, our city attorney has decided to pursue employment elsewhere. And so we're in the search for a new city attorney. We've narrowed it down to a couple of finalists. Both of them have current contracts with the city council. So we don't anticipate having to come back with a new contract. Whichever one we choose, we're just going to end up modifying the current contract to include scope of work for general counsel to the city. So just wanted to let you know that probably by tomorrow, we're going to have a new city attorney.
So the two currently have contracts. Obviously, it would be Joe Yellow Horse's firm. That is our current attorney, and he's leaving, so it would be a partner within that firm that's down in Provo. And the other firm is with Danes and Jenkins, John. He's been our city attorney before. He's currently our prosecuting attorney, and he does general counsel for a couple of other municipalities in the valley. He's very, very good at what he does. And I looked up because I remember going through this before. In the state code 10-3B-202, the mayor, in the mayor council form of government, the mayor in the municipal operating under this council mayor form of government shall, with the council's advise and consent, qualified person for the following positions. And in there it says attorney. Although we currently already have one, I just want to cover that base with you. It's could be either one of those that are competent, but I'm looking for advise and consent. And that just means if you're saying no, speak to me after.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
That would impact, I mean, there's a contract there, so can I presume that the budget wouldn't be affected, that whatever we're paying our attorney now would be the same for either of these attorneys in the future, or how does that?
No, the fees are going to
Good
have to go
question.
up regardless. Our previous attorney, we had a really great deal with them, and they agreed to let it continue when we changed attorneys, but the fee is going to have to go up regardless of who we choose. Now, the increase can be absorbed into our municipal functions budget while we work on building the budget for next year. And so it's not a significant enough increase, we suspect, to have to come back to the city council to ask for more money.
Okay.
So the amount that we budgeted overall for the attorney for the year, there's still plenty left in that budget. And we don't anticipate we're going to have to go over that.
Okay, because we had some really good training an hour or so ago that talked about us approving budget changes and increases,
Yes.
so.
Right.
It's-
So
In
again,
case we don't need,
Within that budget.
we anticipate that our attorney budget is still going to be on track. The fee's going to have to go up a little bit, but it's not doubling or anything like that.
okay, thank you.
So if anyone would have heartburn with either of those firms, please contact me. Marcus is correct. We currently have a contract with them. We can just modify that contract, but I wanted to cover it with an advice and consent with the council. One last thing, and I think Gerald brought it up. The whole project of this, the well house, the road and water line. Public Works is out busily trying to ensure that when we have to take Lions Park tank offline, that they can isolate. So they've been working with all the different valves in the city so we can isolate. They have to take that offline and be able to drill into it to put in piping and that. So it's it's moving and we're hoping that that is on target and the parts and components, everything are coming in. That's the long pole in the tent of this whole project, so.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have nothing else, so we'll go to the first item there under actions. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Is to consider 2026-3 RZ, an ordinance amending the zoning map for parcel 04-037-0013 from commercial to mixed use. The first thing we'll do is let's identify it. The public hearing was already in planning commission.
Correct.
And I just want to identify it here for everybody before we. And it was good that we had that discussion. We had a training session before. If we don't like something, we have to change the code just because we don't like it. Under current codes, what we're looking at
Mhm.
is Sunrise Square and Associates, their parcel.
Correct.
One thing I would say to the council, as you look at this, to mixed use, there is a requirement of a certain amount of that property percentage to be a minimum tied up into commercial. So,
Running the highway, correct?
Yeah. So as a quick summary, the staff report, as you can see in there, the city staff gave a neutral recommendation. There were kind of positives and negatives to the rezone. The planning commission did vote to recommend approval 5-0.
so I'll turn it to you, council, for the rezone request. Or a motion.
Question, there's a 50-foot easement along Wolfpack Way, is that correct? I'm just one, I guess
I think
and
that
it-
may be a mistype because this property, the city ended up acquiring 50 feet of property from them for the road. I don't think
We've
there's an
been-
actual 50-foot
'cause I
easement
thought I read that
encroaching
somewhere
into
in
the property.
documents.
That was brought up at the planning commission and I looked into it briefly and I'm pretty sure that's a mistake. But when they actually submit for a development plan, they're gonna have to submit a survey showing any existing easements. So we'll catch it at that time if it actually does exist.
Okay, I just want to make sure that certainly they've done their due diligence and would know that that may or may not impact their development. I just,
Yeah, when I heard that number 50 feet, I went, that sounds an awfully lot like the right of way we had to buy for Wolfpack Way. I don't
Okay,
think
yeah.
that's correct,
that
but
probably tracks. Okay.
Does, in the old documents that were in there, it speaks about some right of ways in there, like 15 foot on either side, 30 foot. Does anybody know what that's?
in which document?
It was,
Oh, by the way, the applicant is here. If you have specific questions for them, you can definitely call them up.
And it's,
And that,
yeah, Mayor, it's the 1995 right-of-way and easement grant.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's, I think, where I saw the,
don't know what that is referring to.
That one.
There it is.
So it appears that that's along the highway. Oh, okay, so
On the east side.
it does
of
appear that
State
there's a
Highway.
50-foot construction easement that was along the highway for the construction of facilities.
Of the what?
Construction of facilities.
I mean, I see in a perpetual easement shall be 30 feet in width, and I mean, I haven't, done anything more than just, read the paragraphs here, and I'm thinking, boy, if you lose so many feet out there and depending on what you can put or not put in that easement, and then you add 40% commercial and, that's a fairly narrow lot, east to west or north to south. It's long and narrow. And, I just, the challenge of developing that parcel in addition to a wide easement along the highway. That's not my business.
So I'm in those easements, I would just say that the developer would have to be aware of it, and as well as Mikkel, she catches this kind of stuff. That's why we've got it in our box.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that was some time ago. Any other questions on this?
Marcus, you mentioned there's pros and cons. What were the cons?
Let me think. Give me 1 second. So the staff report goes into it in great detail. Some of the things specifically that the city staff was looking at was perhaps the availability of access to the parcel. UDOT's already kind of told them they wouldn't get any access to the parcel off of the highway. Within the parcel boundaries, now there's going to be cross access. And so it wasn't necessarily a problem. The developer could find a way around it. The city staff just pointed out, this is a thing that we are aware of. Additional problems that were identified is there was a concern with the amount of mixed use versus commercial that's being seen along Wolfpack Way. Again, this wasn't like a reason to say no, but the city staff just wanted to point out that we've granted a lot of rezones to mixed use along the corridor. There's a question brought up that is this how we want to keep going as a city? A bigger question was, we are going to be modifying our moderate income housing plan later this year to take out these rezones as a way to comply with that. And that was the reason for granting these rezones, some of these rezones in the past. And so that was another question just brought up. Does the city want to keep granting these rezones, even if it's not part of the moderate income housing compliance anymore? And then if you look at the staff report, then the zoning criteria themselves, there's pros and cons. The first criteria is if it's harmonious with the existing development around it. The answer was yes. There's already mixed use going on in the area. Question number 2 is NA. There wasn't any overlay zones that are applicable here. If it's going to adversely affect the adjacent properties, it's not really, because like we said, it's already kind of a commercial use down there. Number 4 is where there was a yes and no. There's availability of utilities. The property doesn't have any water rights that they've presented thus far. And so that just could be a tripping point for them in the future, as we require all projects to have water rights at this point. So there you go. The DRC, like it says, wasn't in favor because of those concerns that they had. But from a city staff perspective, meaning Mikkel in doing her analysis, she left it neutral because the problems that the DRC identified was more just things for the council to be aware of as you make the decision.
The owner / developer also has a parcel, one parcel removed to the north, correct?
If you remember.
Would we expect to see similar, I guess, question for Jake, if that's okay? I mean,
Jake, you want to come up, or whoever you got here?
just, are we looking at kind of similar things that you've done before? I mean, that just helps
Yeah.
me think and going down the road.
So to answer Marcus's question, this is a strange lot, a
Uh-huh.
little bit of a more narrow lot. So we have been in discussion with the property, the Hyde Park Partners, where there's a cross-access alignment there. And talking to him, we've been asking what his needs would be with the assisted living. There'd be a type of commercial, be more cohesive with them, meaning there'd be like a Spence's pharmacy, rehabilitation center, things like that along those lines, a professional plaza type of deal. And there have some accessibility from that assisted living center. And that's our ideas of how to address that. And that's where we're trying to be more sensitive. I've been in this meetings a lot with you guys. I've seen your faces quite a few times. And I know that a lot of these people coming up asking for rezones and, developments, their focus has been on multifamily. And so as we've been moving forward, we've been not removing from the residential side, but more focus has been put on the commercial aspect because we know there is an importance to the city in that regard. And so we're putting more of our focus beforehand in a lot of these commercial aspects and getting game plans beforehand on how to address those concerns with the city. Because I've been in a lot of these city meetings where commercial is just a huge importance, obviously, to the city. And so going into these projects, just know that that is important to me as well. And so we've been in multiple discussions with the city staff with that in mind as well. So that would be our anticipation, and what we would design this around is around the Hyde Park. And we've been talking to Tyler, the owner, the developer on that land to the south.
Okay.
And so that's how we try to create some of that cohesiveness there. in that
So
regard.
the medical facility to the south, they were gonna have like God, I want to
A
say
little
a little
roundabout.
roundabout in there
Mhm.
where they can turn off and go north.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think if I may be wrong, but I think you're the first or one of the first that's come in since we've changed our mixed use
Correct.
requirements from 25 to 40%. And I can only sit here and think that maybe you're seeing an opportunity with this first, care facility and, that kind of,
Correct.
assisted living and in that area to maybe be able to capitalize on that. So I think that's
It's
great.
a unique piece, just like we talked about UDOT, the accessibility from the highway might be constrained, but there is some accessibility and utilization through those other projects to the south. And that's where we see some advantageous
Okay.
growth there that we can make work.
It's because I'm guessing also, Marcus, that just knowing the requirements on Wolfpack Way for access, that do you even have access on Wolfpack Way, or is that also north and south of you?
No, we have access on Wolfpack.
There's one there, because I know it's about every 300 feet or so as you go up there, and it's kind of hit and miss. And sometimes I think with the engineering firm, we try to have that access point where it would, go into two different parcels. But I'm just, so you do have access
Yes.
on the east side and then on the south, and then again, weaseling your way out to the
Yeah.
highway on the other side. Okay.
The only constraint, like again, was from UDOT getting access from the highway is going to be near impossible. So we
Right.
try to redirect how we're going to access that piece. And I think we've found a solution to do that. So.
Council, do you have any more questions for Jake?
I have one on the property. Is this according to property, like, if certain people own this piece of property and this one, that the rule applies 40% to the property owner?
The ones that are newly applying, those that have already been approved fall under the old plan.
Okay,
So this is a new application for a rezone, and he's got to comply with the current codes.
Yeah, well, and the way that the rezones work is the rezones don't entitle you to anything. They aren't entitled to like freezing the codes in place until they submit their first land use application.
Right.
So yeah, even the ones that have been rezoned, if there wasn't a project proposed on it yet, they still would be subject to the new codes, whatever the codes are when they put in their
That's correct.
application and it's completed.
but the staff sees no problem with it and commission was in favor of it, correct?
I mean, there's problems, but we don't feel like they're
Yeah, I
insurmountable.
know.
And the planning commission voted in favor 5-0.
Gerald, you look like you were deep in thought.
Oh, I've been thinking and listening to everything being said, so.
Okay.
So what is your intention for the rest of the property,
The rest would be residential that would fit within that mixed use.
and what kind of?
There'd be townhomes, there'd be for sale products in there. You'd see some condos in there as well. A little bit of mix of both. There'd be a mix of both products in there. And I think the code actually requires that now. You can't just throw in a certain amount. I could be wrong, Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong. But there's a
Yeah,
mix and-
only 50% of the units can be a townhome.
Yeah. And so there would be a mix of the types of residential.
That's
that would be
good.
within there.
Any more questions or motion or? So we,
Nope. Well, it said questions or motions.
our motions, not emotions.
Sure. I move to approve the rezone of parcel 04-037-0013 from commercial to mixed use based on the findings of fact in the staff report and conformance with the Hyde Park City Land Use Code, the general plan, and the future land use map.
We've got a motion to approve the rezone request for, I'll just say Sunrise Square,
I'll second that motion.
and a second from Tiffany. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Thank you. The next item is to consider ordinance 2026-4, an ordinance revising the land use titles 12 and 13. Marcus, you want to give a summary of that before we?
Yeah,
have the
there's a
public hearing on that?
lot to kind of chew through in this. I'll go through it as fast as I can, then we can answer questions if there's more details.
I'm hoping people,
Yeah, so hopefully the
Review.
council all had a chance to read this ordinance. There are several ordinance updates and fixes in this ordinance. And so the first thing that we're doing is doing a term update in our code. Anywhere you see the word survey, we're going to update that to boundary survey with specific things we want to see in the survey. The next thing we're going to do is remove any reference to a conditional use permit for accessory dwelling units. The state is already on their way to making those approved anyway. We don't see a need for it anymore as city staff. It's just another thing to babysit that it's not necessary. So that's been something that we've been working on for a while. And this is just a cleanup that we're removing it from the code completely. The state of Utah changed their code numbering system for everything related to land use. It went from 10-9A to 10-20. So we just got to go through the whole land use code and change all the 9As to 20s and then fix the rest of the numbers. So we didn't list all those out here for everybody. But we're just letting you know we're going to change all those state code references. Part of this is we're adopting a new addressing policy and procedure for the city. We're going to be using the county grid system that you can find on the GIS map from the county. The next item on the agenda is the actual addressing policy that we're going to adopt, but this is just the code update to say that we're going to adopt an addressing policy. The next one, 13.10.30, we're making it so that the city staff can veto subdivision names. With all the repeats that we've had the past few years, we just want to have the opportunity to, cut some of those off before they make a mess. The next one, the last two are cleanups and clarifications for the city staff so that we can have a clear process to close out applications or mark them as incomplete and have the applicant start over. That's the short version. What questions do you
so
have?
before that, well, I was gonna, public hearing portion. Can we encapsulate them all into?
The planning commission already had all the public hearings for all these ordinances last week. And so if the city council is ready to approve them, you can just go through them and approve them as they are presented. And I will say the public hearings were silent. Nobody got up and said anything at any of the
Really?
public hearings. So
It was pretty quiet out on the public hearing portion.
yes.
Do we have to approve each one individually?
No, so this is all one ordinance.
Okay.
So you can approve ordinance 2026-04 and that encapsulates all those changes that I just went through. It's important to know all these changes aren't changing the process or procedure or content of the ordinance as much as they are clarifying the process. I guess the one that could be considered really changing is the subdivision name veto. But almost everything else, the one where we're giving ourselves the power to veto subdivision names, that is a clear change to the process. But all the rest of the changes in here are just clarifications, things that we've talked about, things that we have been working on slowly and planning on implementing for a while. Now we're just finally, they're ready to implement.
No more cedar, anything.
Yeah,
Or Juniper Ridge.
no juniper.
No,
Mikkel already is making a list of things that we can't have in our subdivision names anymore because there's too many of them.
All right, so council, where would you want to go on ordinance 2026-4, revising land use titles?
I'm comfortable with these chain clarifications, I guess is a better word. So I would motion that we approve ordinance 2026-04.
Got a motion from Tiffany to approve, a second from, was that Kurt? Okay. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? The next item is consider ordinance 2026-3, an ordinance repealing and replacing minor subdivision code.
So again, I hope everyone had a chance to read this. The biggest change being proposed here is we are modifying what is defined as a minor subdivision. Before in our code, it was just based on number of lots. Now it's based on number of lots and availability of existing infrastructures. The NICE who came and spoke at the public comment portion, theirs is a great example of this. When they presented to the city originally, we had a whole list of things for them to work on and stuff they needed to do to their lots. And then it was determined that the city didn't need that infrastructure in that part of town. And so now under this new code, they would qualify for a minor subdivision. If a lot already has all the adequate infrastructure that it needs, they're just missing maybe a water meter and a sewer connection. That would be something that would go under a minor subdivision. It's meant to be a faster process because we don't have to get, full utility plan and everything else. We can just say, yep, put your meters in, put your house on, you're good to go.
You can see the track changes and what they've done.
well, I see some comments in there, and so my question is, if we address some of those comments, are they being
Is there-
addressed?
The ones that we have in box have all of the comments in there. Do we have,
So the
Right.
comments are just notes that we made of things that we were looking at. The text itself, we think is probably okay to go the way it is. A couple of the notes there are just check with the city attorney to make sure we're okay to do stuff.
And that's my question. Do we approve it if it has not yet been run through the city attorney?
You know what? I never heard back from him. So technically I never heard back from the city attorney. Now that I'm looking at this, I didn't hear back from him yet. So probably not ready to approve this tonight. I apologize.
so one of the motions that could be made is to continue this to the next meeting.
I'll make that motion that we continue it.
So we got a motion from Stephanie to continue this revision, this ordinance until 2026-3. I think I don't have it pulled up again. To our next city council meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Got a second from David. Any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? The next item is to consider adopting the new addressing and road naming framework. I read through this and I like it. And I think I found in there, it said coordinating with the post office too, didn't it, Mikkel? Okay, we wanted to make sure that we wanted to be able to give some sort of coordinates east and west, even if the road went at an angle, but I just want to make sure that we don't send a postmaster and have him tip over or something because of this.
Who benefits? I mean,
EMS, EMS being able to try and find something or call it for any
safety issues.
safety. It's really a safety. We don't like to have a road named Lazy Susan Drive.
Right.
where is it and what address is it? So we like our, even if it is Lazy Susan, it's 400 west and 753 north, Lazy Susan Drive. So,
So this, we already had an addressing procedure that we followed for subdivisions. It wasn't great and we didn't have it written down. And so we're not really sure if our addressing stayed consistent over time.
yeah.
I mean, we never had any problems with it. The postmaster is always good to reach out and say, hey, I see a problem here, and we fix it. But this is a way to get the procedure written down, get it firm and concrete. And also something we're going to be doing is setting up an addressing committee with postmaster, public safety people. So when we have a subdivision that comes in that maybe has a weird road, we can meet with those folks and say, okay, this doesn't fit with our criteria. How would you like it to be addressed so the mailman can find it and the ambulance can find it?
And Marcus, from what I've understand and read, is that this is kind of going forward, except for maybe some of those situations where it's not a big inconvenience to change it, right? It's not going to be.
Yeah, this isn't
mass
like when
change.
we did the
Yeah.
address change on the other side of the highway. This is just going to be everything moving forward, or the subdivisions that have been approved and are still waiting to have addresses assigned. We'll start using this as soon as it's approved. And the one comment right here you can see is the planning commission wanted us to add the word process. And so that's what that comment says, is we're adding the word process.
And the build, oh, go ahead.
Are the police or fire department, are they involved in this at all, or how?
So
are
we
they-
want to, when this code gets approved, we're going to start forming the addressing committee. And
Okay,
the plan is that we're going to involve a representative from police, fire department, which also is emergency services, definitely the postmaster, and probably one or two city employees. But we don't want to have a huge committee when this is really a public safety issue.
And does this kind of fall on the building department? Is that right?
So
They
the
involved with it?
idea is the addressing procedure and everything, we could assign the address and have it be assigned at the time of building permit, but it wouldn't necessarily be the building department's job to do that. We work with the developer and get their addresses assigned when they do their
Okay, all
building
right, all right.
permit.
Well, I move that we adopt a new addressing and road naming framework.
We got a motion from Stephanie to adopt the new addressing and road naming framework.
I'll second that motion.
A second from Tiffany. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? I think this is kind of the next step of that naming, because the other one is consider a zoning clearance letter process and code update. It really kind of codifies the way that we've always wanted to act, but now we put it into a letter so that we try and cover all those bases. Am I correct? Sometimes we acted right, sometimes we forgot things, but this is really kind of putting it down so that somebody has a list to go from. And I
Mhm.
think that's love lists. Hopefully you had time to look through it. It's really just taking the things that we have in place and making that checklist for them and putting it out there so that they quit ringing Mikkel, what do I have to do? Or somebody else, what do I have to do? Here's your list. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, I brought reinforcements for this one tonight if you have questions, because I don't deal with the building permits a ton. So I do have our building official who's here, as well as the city planner, if you have questions for them about specific process points. But what I can tell you is the zoning clearance letter is meant to be a shortened version of site plan approval. We've got a lot of things in our code that require a site plan. And right now the site plan requirements are pretty heavy for something even like a single family lot or a business license. And so the zoning clearance letter, the purpose is twofold. Number one, provide an easier avenue for those site plan uses that we don't necessarily need to see the full engineered site plan. We just need to get it grip on what's happening on the property. And number two is we're going to require it for any single family use, because then it gives the city an opportunity to gather all, I mean, it's the applicant's opportunity to get all the signatures they need. And then when they actually submit for the building permit, they can turn in this letter and they've already got all the signatures they need, and we can get their building review done really, really fast at that point.
Could you go back again? This would apply to subdivisions and single-family resident builds, or?
No, so you can see right here, this is the actual proposed code update. And so it says for any residential use for single family home use, short-term rental use, home occupation use, a zoning clearance letter signed by the zoning administrator and approved by the same process as a site plan shall
Got it.
act as the site plan review / approval.
Got theirs, okay.
So again, this is just for something, we don't need, you know, the full engineered utility plan. We just need to know where your parking's going. We need to know where your driveway's at. We need to know that you're not going to be putting your house too far into the setback or over an easement or something.
And Darren, you like this?
I do.
Okay.
We have,
Yeah. Or you can sit there and talk on that microphone.
so we have this with other municipalities that we deal with. And it actually streamlines their process when they come in to apply for the building permit, because they're not waiting for someone else besides the building department. So they've already gone through that, it's approved, and it can move forward. So some people think that that holds them up, but really it should streamline it. So I am in favor of this.
So
So, yeah, there's an update to the code, and then I see in here letters and a clearance checklist, and that would just all be part of.
Yeah, so that's the supplemental materials. One of the things the planning commission was worried about is we were creating extra steps and just going to make the process more complicated. So with the city council is approving the code update. With the code update, we also have the letter templates ready to go. We have a checklist ready to go. We have all these things ready to go to be deployed with the code update as soon as it's approved. So this is just showing to the planning commission and the city council that this idea is, we've been working on it for a while. By we, I mean them. They did all the hard work. I just get it presented to you. They've been working on it for a while. It's fully ready to
no
go.
good thing unclaimed, Marcus.
Yeah, but so anyway, it's ready to go. That's the point of all the extra documents in here, is we feel like it's a fully hatched idea ready to be deployed.
And I'm wondering if those other documents, like the checklist, do they need to be referred to in our code? Or is this just something that here's, because we're kind of saying in that checklist, here's the process you follow.
Mm-hmm.
You upload this and you do X, Y, and Z, but it's not in the code, so.
Well, the checklist is created from the code.
So that's from all the other parts of the code that aren't being updated, is this 12.10.060 site plan review. That's being updated. The checklist is coming from all the rest of the stuff that already exists. Got it. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
So council, what would you like to do with the consider a zoning clearance letter?
I will also say that this one that's called real site plan submitted for permit, this is just included to show why we need this process. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, so God, so that okay. I wondered so this was an actual.
Yeah, so this is what the zoning
Document
clearance letter
submitted.
is meant to prevent. Sometimes, this is not often, this one was egregious, so we put it in here for everyone's enlightenment. This is an example of even less than bare minimum site plan. Like, we just had to kick this one out and be like, no, you're missing so many things. We're emailing back and forth with the applicant for 3 days saying, what is this? Can you explain this? Send me a new one. I need this
Yeah.
added on there. Zoning clearance means they would turn this into McKell. She would say, nope, here's your checklist. Give it back when the checklist is done. And they got a clear way to fill it out, easy checklist, turn everything back in. We all sign off. Then they submit for building permit. Heck, they get their building permit 3 days later. Easy.
Sounds like a great thing.
Yes.
It does.
So
So are we ready to make a motion on this? I'll make a motion that we approve. Let's see.
The zoning clearance letter.
Letter?
Yeah, zoning clearance letter. Is that,
And checklist, or is it the site plan
Process.
review zoning clearance doc?
Yeah.
What do you want?
oh, I'm looking on the wrong agenda. Okay. So go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just like, oh.
I'll second it.
Well, I second what Gerald's proposing, approve the zoning
So-
letter slash checklist.
Letter and code update.
process and code
Process
update.
and code update.
That's what we're trying to say.
So we got a motion from Gerald.
And I'll
if I'm
second.
correct, to consider a zoning clearance letter process and code update, and a second from Tiffany. That's correct. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Any opposed with nay? Motion carried again. The next one is to consider a resolution 2026-03. It's a resolution accepting a petition for annexation of certain real property under the provisions of 10-2-803 and 10-2-804 of Utah Code 2025 as amended.
Okay,
What
I will join in here. This is the exact same resolution you passed last time. It was done within 13 days and it needed to be 14 days. So just to be safe, we're doing this again. It's a really big annexation, so we need to make sure everything is done exact. So we're just doing this again to meet the after 14 days. That's
If
all.
council is unknowing on this, this is what we call back 40. Project back 40.
Thank you for that clarification. That explains a couple of things we talked about. Yeah.
And the process is
this
we
full.
have to approve a resolution first, and then it goes to the county, and they say, gosh, did the city approve that they were willing to consider this? And then the county has a certain number of days to say, yes, we're permitting that to go out of unincorporated county into a municipality. Once they approve it, then it'll come back to the city for final annexation.
In that amount of time she's talking about.
No, the county doesn't do anything at the speed of government.
No, the whole annexation process takes at least 3 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least.
Well, I think I made the motion last time, so I'll make it again. Make a motion that we accept the resolution accepting a petition for annexation of sections 10-2-803 and 10-2-804.
I'll second that, that we accept resolution 2026-03.
So we've got a motion to approve resolution 2026-03 by Stephanie and a second from David. Any discussion?
Do we need to say anything in there that supersedes the previous?
No, the other one's in record. It just didn't have the right time frame on it. So this will be update.
That's my concern.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Motion carried. The next item is priority and budget workshop session.
All right. I failed in my responsibilities last time because Danya wasn't here to remind me. Just kidding. So we need to set a date for our annual budget workshops. When I talked about this with the city council
Hey, Kelly.
previously, it was brought up that maybe we need to have 2 separate workshops. One to discuss priority and long-term goals of the city, and the other one to actually talk budget. And so I just wanted to pull up the calendar and find some days where we could do some workshops. Honestly, if we get a good vision and priority session, the budget workshop can be much shorter.
I thought we were gonna work with, maybe with the last city council meeting of every month on workshops, but maybe that doesn't fit into the time constraint on the budget workshop.
No, to do a good visioning, a true vision workshop that we'll call it, we're gonna need some time because it's going through like every piece of the general plan and saying, what is the priority? What do we want to accomplish this year? What is going to wait till next year? I mean, we really need to start picking it apart at that level. And so the proposal that I have is basically instead of doing an 8-hour budget workshop, let's do an 8-hour planning and vision workshop. And then we can do like a 1 or 2 hour budget workshop for us to, John, you will send you the budget with plenty of time ahead so you can read through it. And then the budget workshop can just be answering questions about the budget, going over specific line items if you have them, but we can spend the bulk of our time doing the council's job, like we talked about at the work session tonight, and looking towards the future and figuring out what do we want to accomplish in this next year.
I would recommend that we start with that list of things that we put down as city goals. Some of those things would be applicable in there. Some of the reports out from Public Works and such wouldn't necessarily be there, but codes, updating certain codes and things like that.
Right. And it probably would be good to have the planning commission come to part or all of that visioning workshop too. So typically we look at midweek March to do the work session. I think last year we did it in one of the teen days of March. For those of you who have jobs outside of city council, I guess I'm looking at you first. When would you be available? You know what? I'm even willing to come in on a weekend if that's what it takes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure anybody else is.
I'm just saying, if I got to come in on a Friday or Saturday, I don't know about Sunday. That Sunday's my day.
Fridays
but-
and weekends.
I could do a Monday, the 16th. I don't know what everybody else's schedule looks like. I'm just, or
You end up.
a Wednesday, the 18th. Well, yeah, a Wednesday, the 18th.
I couldn't do it 16.
I'm good on the 18th. I'm good the week prior. I mean, yeah, hit and miss. I've got appointments, but if I here and there, and other things, but with a couple weeks notice, I can change things, but I'm good with the 18th, that Wednesday.
We have city council that night too.
We've got,
No.
That's a third.
Plan-
That's a third. So it's not
I
a,
think the mayor may be unavailable on the 16th and the
What day
18th.
are we talking?
Wednesday, the 18th. Are you up to
March 16th and 18th. I see appointments on your calendar, Mayor. I don't think you're going to be available that day. No, it's not.
do you have
then
any
that
teeth
it's-
left, Mayor?
For the
Got to get
19th, we
the,
could do the 19th.
not
The
on,
mayor has other appointments on that day that it looks like he probably can't miss.
that is, I'm looking at the one that you're talking about. I think that one goes away because you see it on the 16th as well.
Yeah, well, you also have another appointment on the 18th in the afternoon.
It's Thursday. the
Oh,
18th.
ooh, would you be done by then? That's a big one.
We probably won't be done by then.
And if that's the best date for everybody, that's okay. That's,
What
I mean,
about
it's,
Thursday, the 19th?
I'm good. I'm good on Thursday, the 19th.
I can't, the week before I have stuff like almost every day. I could do any of those 3 days. I don't know if you want to put it later in March. Or if the first.
It's up to you. We have to have the first draft of the budget done by, So- we would like to have this meeting mid-April so that Dawn, you can have time to actually finalize the first round of the budget.
Because this meeting is, we're kind of talking most of a day so that we can come in again and spend a couple hours probably actually doing the budgeting part. And you want to do the
Yeah.
budgeting part no later than?
Good idea, by the end of March.
Okay.
yeah, we have to have a preliminary budget out.
Well, and we can sit down as staff people during regular office hours and start putting together numbers. We don't necessarily need the city council,
Right, right. But we should
Yeah.
shoot to try to have this workshop no later than that week of the 16th through 20th,
Yeah.
so we can come back in the following week on an afternoon or whatever is good for Gerald and Tiffany.
So,
And
yeah, is the 19th a day everyone's looking at then?
I mean, I'm available that day.
Thursday the 19th would work
That
for me.
Thurs-
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
take the day off.
Stephanie, are you available that day?
I am until 2:30.
Okay. Kirk, are you available that day? We can try our darndest to get through all the big important stuff before 2:30 or
Or if we
pick a
start
different
at
day.
6, Stephanie, we can get a good 8 hours in before you have to leave. Carol can be halfway done before he has to even go to work that day. We start, early enough in the morning.
Yeah, there you go.
What about like the 23rd, the Monday? Or the 30th?
Well, we have to have budgeting before the end of March.
Is the first week of March like Monday the 2nd? Is that too soon?
I've
Dawn?
got my teeth cleaning going
Oh.
on
Okay.
that week.
No,
That
I'll
week,
do
that first week of March.
They're
got it.
cleaning one tooth a day.
One
I
day.
actually do have a dentist appointment on the 3rd.
Probably won't
I'll
be.
let you-
Or the week after that, then 9th through
I can't
13th.
do
No,
that.
that was your week that you're.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
How about on the 5th?
Mayor's.
The 5th, I'll be in Puerto
I
Vallarta.
have a meeting that day
You
too.
will. You
Well,
Maybe,
if you
We
get
can
there,
just go
yeah.
there.
I'm not sure I'd want to go.
we'll see.
Go with
Um,
you? Just kidding.
I'll send you a picture.
I don't want to
Get
suggest,
here to
Friday.
Friday.
I hate to suggest Friday the 20th for our staff, but
Danya, Rulinda's in Puerto Vallarta right now. Yes. They're.
Well, Yeah, the fun part about
Hopefully.
visioning is, no offense to any of the staff, but they don't necessarily need to be here. That can, a
well, I
lot of
mean,
that can be run through me and
but-
it can be taken back to them.
but I consider you, we're taking away your Friday. Maybe not.
Well, I'll just take a different day off that week.
Yeah.
It's fine. I can shuffle things around too.
Is that better? The 20th and the 19th?
I can do that if you guys want
The
to.
20th, there's the royalty pageant that night in here.
So maybe not that day. I could do probably any day, 16th through the
The
20th.
16th.
You wanna
just-
do it
you
on
just tell me what you want to do.
St. Patrick's Day?
I'll make it work.
Are you getting any teeth cleaned on the 16th, Brian?
No, I just have a commitment for 1 hour
Oh,
that day for, that'll work.
Because we-
I-
the
I-
16th?
I can come before and take off and go do my arm and come back.
Okay.
I can't do it the 16th.
But
So let's do the 17th.
The 17th
17th.
is St. Patrick's Day.
Everybody wear green,
Yep.
Mayor, you may have something at 4 PM on the 17th.
but can we do it until 3:30?
Yeah.
That's a good stretch, right?
Yeah, that one and I should put it in there, that's in Salt Lake.
So you may have to be done by 2:30 if we do it on the 17th.
How long do you want it to be?
Well, it's really how long do you want it to be? Because really we need to go through all aspects of what's happening at the city and make sure the city council is okay with the directions that we're going. This
So
can be
what-
as short or as long as you want it to be.
If,
Like 9 until 2?
Judging how our previous 2 years have gone, we're probably gonna need all day.
I mean, we just
I
spent,
just recognize that some people may have to come and go. I'm supposed to be somewhere with the chamber that day for lunch and then I gotta run down to Salt Lake, but
Well, what food are they giving you? We'll give you something better.
be flexible and.
Are we talking the 17th?
Yeah,
I would be,
I have a dermatologist appointment, but I can go and come.
Yeah.
And it
So
would
which,
be-
19th, we were looking at 19th.
yeah,
19th.
If we did it,
I mean, based on what we did or didn't do in our workshop over 40 minutes, which was have a conversation, not really establish much or come up with let's move forward with X, Y, Z. I think this may take some time as we sit and have conversations. I don't think it's going to be
I'm open 19.
the 19th?
Yeah.
I think that looks
yeah,
except
better for me.
we could
Do you have
be
that
done.
for you?
yeah, 19th.
19th.
I could do a longer stretch
Yes.
on the 19th, Thursday. the
Okay.
19th. Does that work for
We'd
you?
have a sleepover.
No, we're not, not staying here.
Okay, so we will put on the 19th, Danya's gonna send out a calendar invite to everybody just from about 8 a.m.
Block it
till
the
4.
entire day for it.
Block it out.
Yesterday,
8.
8 o'clock.
this last year I came at 9, and I was like, oh.
We're starting at 8.
For the benefit of some, there's 2 8 o'clocks on a
There
clock.
is no.
There's 2 8s, yeah, there's one that's.
At
in the
night.
morning. There's one before that.
And we're saying like 8 to 5, 8 to 4.
I'll have Danya block out 8 to 4. Hopefully we're shorter than that, but I think Dave's right. We spent 45 minutes talking about the general plan tonight and didn't make a ton of headway. And that was just one chapter. And really, we got to get through
Do
kind of all of it.
something.
All right, so we got that done. Let's continue. The last item on our agenda, council, is to have a closed session, of which we can all have closed sessions for one of 4 things, or we'd have it for all 4, but this one happens to just be for the purchase or sale of real property. And to do that, we would need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion from Kirk to go into closed session. There's a second.
I'll second it.
Got a second from David. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Okay, you're gonna,
All right. For the benefit of the live stream, we will be ending the live stream now. After the closed session is over, we'll be entering back into regular session
only.
briefly